Hi students, good morning. I hope you're doing well and I hope you had a great week. Welcome back to our practice session. This will be our second one. All right, so we will be exploring some items in the meantime while other persons try to. Hi students, good morning. I hope you're doing well and I hope you had a great week. Welcome back to our practice session. This will be our second one. All right, so we will be exploring some items in the meantime while other persons try to. Hi students, good morning. I hope you're doing well and I hope you had a great week. All right, so I was waiting for other persons to join us. So let's go to our first question. Our first question is use the pictures below to answer the question. And the question is, which box has the greatest volume? So go ahead, do your calculations and tell us your answer in the chat. So this might be familiar to a few persons. Some persons may just be seeing it for the first time. So let's start working. So we're just going to work a few of these here and you'll share your responses in the chat and I will work it on the board for you guys to confirm your answers. All right, I see persons asking for the Zoom code. This session is taking place on YouTube. All right, so that is where you will be interacting with me. All right, so I'm seeing the jeweler box. So what I want for you to do is I want you to show working in the, what I mean is that you're gonna explain, justify how you got your answer and share what volume that particular picture would have. How did you get your answer? I see a lot of persons saying driller box. How did you get the driller box? Because remember, there are other persons here, all right? So I'm seeing Zara Thompson saying gift box is 24, driller box is 29. All right, so I want to know, how did you calculate volume? How do you calculate volume? What is the formula when you're calculating volume? All right, so I see where Ashana FI says 4 times 15 times 10 is equal to 600. But remember now, you have left out your units. Your answers cannot be correct without your units. I'm seeing Ranique Livingston says 15 plus 10 plus 4 centimeters equal 29 centimeters. Can someone tell me how we calculate volume? What is the basic formula to calculate volume? Length times height times width. That's what Anicia says. And we're going to work with that. So definitely we're multiplying the 3 dimensions. That is how we calculate volume. So we have to multiply the measurement we have for right here. Let me annotate so that you can see where I'm identifying. So you multiply this dimension by this dimension by this dimension. And that is how you would come up with your, I see you Heinz also saying that it is length times width times height. So definitely you're correct. So for the persons who weren't really familiar with this, because I see persons adding, but when we're finding the volume, we're multiplying the length times the height times the breadth, or the length times height times width. We're multiplying those 3 lengths, those 3 dimensions. And when you have done your calculation, what would be the volume for the gift box? So in the chat, I want you to write gift box equal, and you write the volume for the gift box. All right, so I see where Ashana FI says 4 times 15 times 10 equals 600 centimeter cube. Now she writes that 3 after the centimeter. That because you can't write it as a superscript here, you are free to just write the 3 right there after the centimeter. All right. All right. Okay, Christian Stewart Gray. Awesome. Because I really did a video on total surface area as well as volume. Awesome. All right. So we're talking about the gift box. Welcome, Taurus. Length times width times height. Awesome. So we're talking about the gift box. What would be the volume for the gift box? All right. So Michaela says that she picked the jewelry box because to find the gift box, she multiplied the 8 times the 3 and she got 24. And jewelry box, I added 4 plus 10 plus 10, 4 plus 15 plus 10, and I got 29. Now I was making that correction here, Michaela Hamilton, that when we're finding the volume, what we're doing is we're multiplying all 3 dimensions of the solids. So note that volumes can only be found in solids. We're finding the volume in a solid. So it's not a shape. These are representation of the solid. So we're finding the volume of a solid, and a solid has 3 dimensions. So let's look at that. All right, so Kathy Ann Brown says gift box is equal to 512.3. I'm not seeing the unit. And remember, we need the unit. All right, so Ashana FI says 8 times 8 times 8 is equal to 512 centimeters cube. That little 3 that you'd write above the centimeter is called cube. Awesome. So you can write cube if you wish. So yes, Ashana, you are so correct. Algebraic Smith, awesome as well. So we cannot leave out our units. Can never leave out our units. All right. And when we're finding it, we're multiplying 3 dimensions. So I'm just going to annotate here on the screen as well, so that at least you'll have that visual representation that you can remember. So we're finding the volume for the gift box, which is length times width times height. And we're multiplying the length. So you might want to call the length 8. And we call the width 8 again. So 8 times 8. So for those who didn't do it like this, please make your corrections. Times 8. And when you do your calculation for this, you'd realize that you're multiplying 3 dimensions. So you have a cube centimeter. So 8 times 8 gives us 64, times 8 gives us 512. And so we have our volume to be 512 cubed centimeters. So we have cubic centimeters. We write our cm first, and we write that little 3 in a superscript right here. And this is what your answer should look like. So now that we have calculated for the gift box, I hope persons would have made their corrections. All right, awesome. I'm seeing Taurus as well, Zara. I'm seeing persons explaining their um, calculations. All right, Dacia Hales. You came late, but we just started. All right, so that is the volume for the gift box. Can you go ahead and calculate the volume for the jewelry box? So I want you to calculate the volume for the jewelry box and say, so in your answer, you're going to say jewelry box equally, show your calculation and your final answer. All right, so I'm seeing some calculations coming in for the jewelry box. All right. All right, awesome. So I'm seeing where we're multiplying 15 centimeters by the 4 centimeters by 10 centimeters. And that gave us a volume of 600 cubic centimeters. Awesome. So I'm seeing Anicia with that calculation. I'm seeing Dacia Hales. I'm seeing Ashana FI. All right. All right. I'm seeing Jadon Thompson. I'm seeing a lot of you with that correct response. Awesome job, guys. Great job. All right. So I'm just going to put it here for the ones who have not really gotten it completely. So first, you kind of want to have a structure when you're doing your work. So you're going to have your length times your width times your height. And then you're going to want to plug in those. So you will want to have, say, 15 centimeters times 10 centimeters times 4 centimeters. And that will give us a product of 600 cubic centimeters. You just hold on a minute, because if you just write 600 centimeters, that will certainly be incorrect if you don't have your little cube up here. All right. So what about the box of crackers? Can you tell me the volume for the box of crackers? You guys are doing great so far. So can you tell me the volume for the box of crackers? All right, Michaela Hamilton, you're definitely on the ball. 360 cubic centimeters. So by now we know how we're calculating these, and we know that we are multiplying the length times the width times the height. So for the box of crackers, we have, you kind of want to have this thing written in your book like this. Whenever you're about working, you need to write these things. Don't just go shorthand and go ahead with just the numbers and so on. You want to write out all of these things, so whomever is marking your paper, they will see where you got these dimensions from or these numbers from. So let us go. So I'm going to write 6 centimeters times 10 centimeters times 6 centimeters. And when we have done our calculations, all right, guys, we would have had our 360 cubic centimeters. Remember, answer cannot be correct if we don't have the little cube on it, because then that would mean like it is not 3 dimensions. It's, even though it's showing up top, if we just have our answer 360 centimeters, that is not telling us that we just calculated volume. All right, and I see persons going straight ahead and calculating for the box of popcorn. So I'm seeing 420 cubic centimeters. Is it 420? Is it 420? We're at the box of popcorn now. And for the students who are sending those things in the chat, I'm very disappointing in what you're saying, because if we're grades 4, 5, and 6 students or adults, I'm not expecting that kind of language to be coming from you. All right, definitely Dacia Hills. Answers cannot be correct without proper unit measurement, without the proper units. Awesome. So okay, I'm seeing Alyssa Dreckett saying the box of popcorn is 490 cubic centimeters. I'm also seeing Ashana FI saying the same thing. All right, Michaela is saying it is 420. Michaela, go ahead and check. Remember, for this one, we're multiplying. All right, let me just go here. For this one, where we're doing the length, we're multiplying 10 centimeters by 7 centimeters by 7 centimeters. And when you have done your calculation, check again to see what you have. So guys, I'm seeing Tashna Morgan as well. I'm seeing Kaylee. All right. So I'm seeing, yes, Daisy. I'm seeing Jadon. I'm seeing all those correct responses that you're giving, because it's definitely equal to 490 cubic centimeters. All right, guys. So go ahead, take a screenshot if you wish, or perhaps you would have already had this in your book written down. All right, great job, guys. I see you coming in with the correct answer. Great job. I'm seeing Jermaine Patterson. 490 cubic centimeters. All right. Great job, Michaela Hamilton. Definitely. So let us move on to our next question. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clear screen and let's move on to our next question. So this question is, Elizabeth has some stickers. She divides her stickers equally among herself and two friends. Each person gets 4 stickers. Which equation represents the total number of stickers? And stickers is represented by that S right there. So I want for you to say, all right, I'm also seeing some communication here in the chat. All right, great. So thank you, Alia Berry. So therefore, the jewelry box, after comparing, thank you for that, Alia, because I really forgot that little part there, because you guys already gave us the correct answer before. So when you compare all the 4 volumes that you would have, you'd realize that the jewelry box will have the greatest volume, as that volume is 600 cubic centimeters. Great, awesome. So let's go back to this one. Which answer would it be? So type your answer in the chat, not A, B, C, or D. Type your answer in the chat, okay? All right, so remember to type your answers in the chat. Right, so we don't know the number, so represent it as an S. So S is the unknown. S is what we're trying to find. All right, so Damani Bailey says 5 divided by 3 is equal to 4. Oh, not, is that what you mean? 5 divided by 3 is equal to 4? Damani, or you want to use S? Because remember, we don't have anything saying 5 here, so I suppose you want to say S, and that was an error, right? So I see Michaela Hamilton says S divided by 3 equals 4. All right, I'm seeing Ajibiki Smith saying S divided by 3 equals 4. Alicia Finlayson saying the same thing, and Dejanay Brown as well. So definitely, guys, I'm seeing Torres, and Torres is definitely giving us an explanation here. So she says Elizabeth plus her 2 friends is equal to 3 people. All right. We do not know the original amount of stickers, so it is represented by S. Awesome, Torres. And what did you say your name again was? Torian Stevens. I don't remember. All right, so Torian, I'll call it that until I remember your name. So you say we don't know the original number of stickers, so it is represented by S, definitely, and each friend gets 4. So when you divide the S by 3, you get 4. All right, definitely. So you must divide S by 3 to get 4. Awesome. So our answer is definitely C. S divided by 3, S divided by 3 is equal to 4. And Tori Senior, thank you. And the Tori Senior gave us a beautiful explanation that we can use. So definitely C, S divided by 3 is equal to 4. Thank you, Tori. All right, so let's move on to our next item. I'll just clear what I have here and let's move on. All right, so Mary lives 1 3/4 miles from school. All right. So I'm seeing Dacia coming in with something as well. Awesome, Dacia. She says S. She says she has C because if she has S stickers, and since she's sharing it with her 2 friends, and her makes 3, each person gets 4. So my understanding is to divide S by 3, which should be 4. Awesome, Dacia. Great job, guys. All right, Damoni. All right, great job, guys. Great job. All right, so we're moving on. So Mary lives 1.75 miles from school. She rode her bicycle to school and back each day for 5 days. Which expression shows how to estimate the number of miles she rode? And a key term that we should look at here is estimate, because if you realize that the responses are estimates as well, or at least one part is an estimate. All right. All right. Good, Tori. I see you're commending this here. Awesome. All right. So which one of these expressions would show the estimate of the number of miles she rode? And you remember that I love a little explanation with your answer, right? So go ahead, tell us your answer and put a little explanation below it. And guys, please remember to share the link for this live that is happening now with your classmates so they can join in. So you just need to go ahead, copy the link or the URL or click on share and send the link to perhaps your classmates in their groups or wherever, however you communicate with them. Or you can share on any other social media so that your classmates can come and be and benefit from this session as well. So we won't be long, in fact. We are just going to perhaps work about 3 more questions for today. Yes, Kathy, and 1.75 is a mixed number. All right. So if you say it's C, Anisia, can you explain to us in the chat? Why do you say it's C? All right. So Torres says 1.75 is close to 2. So you would do 5 times 2 and then times it by 2 again because she rode back and forth, which would be 2 trips per day. Awesome, Torres. Definitely, definitely. So what she's saying is that we could round 1.75. This is closer to 2, so we can say, okay, she lives 2 miles from school. It's an estimate that we're working with. So she lives 2 miles from school, and if she rode her bicycle to school back and forth each day, that means if she make 2 trips each day, for the 5 days, should have made 10 trips. Awesome. So now should have made 10 trips, which is 5 times 2. And what else did Torres say? We multiply that by 2 again. So which one of these will we be working with? What is our answer? All right, so I see Michaela says C because 1.75 equal to 7 plus 2. Is it? Remember that we're not changing the mixed number to anything. We're just basically rounding that so that we are able to say, okay, we're estimating how many miles should ride in one trip or in one journey. So our correct answer, I'm seeing the answers coming in. All right. So remember that I don't like to see B. I like to see, thank you, Althea Barrett. I like to see what B is saying. So 5 times 2 plus 2, 2 plus 2 will represent the trips per day. So 2 plus 2 means that she ride 4 miles each day. And she ride for 5 days. So it would be 5 times 2 plus 2. All right. I hope we're understanding that. Right. Thanks, Kaylee D'Souza. So we're multiplying the 5 days by the 2 plus 2 miles that should have ridden for that one day. Awesome. So our correct answer is definitely this, B. All right. All right. All right. All right. So definitely. And I'm going to explain this again because I'm still seeing some other responses in the chat. So I'm going to explain this again. Mary lives 1 3/4 miles from school. She rides her bicycle to school back and forth each day for 5 days. So we're going to round this off to 2 because 1 3/4 is closer to 2 than it is to 1. So we're going to say, okay, Mary lives 2 miles away from school and she rides it back and forth each day. That means for one day, she rides 2 miles to plus 2 miles back. And she does this for 5 days. So in order to see to estimate how many miles she would have done for that week, that means we need to multiply that 5 days by the 2 plus 2. So that it would be 5 times 2 plus 2. And if you're writing algebra, you could write it in a shorter way to say 5 outside the bracket, 2 plus 2 in the bracket. But the correct answer, which is given here, is 5 times 2 plus 2. All right, students? So I hope we all understand here. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right, great. So take a screenshot of this and let's move on to the next question. All right, so we're going to use the list of numbers to answer the question below. What is the mode? So look at the numbers and tell me what the mode is, as well as an explanation. All right. All right. I'm seeing Christian Stewart Gray explaining the previous question here, and she even gave us she gave us an answer as well. All right. So let's work on this one. Thank you, Christian. All right. Alicia Finlayson. All right. Great. Great, Michaela. Awesome. All right, so Rebecca says there is no mode. Why do you say there is no mode, Rebecca? Why do you say there is no mode? All right, David says no mode as well. Why do you say there is no mode? What is the meaning of mode? What is mode? When we talk about mode in mathematics, what do we mean? Okay, so Andreas Taylor said there is no mode because every number is there once. Every number is there once. All right, great. All right, so Labronia Johnson says that the mode is the one that appears the most and all numbers appear once. So we don't want to say repeat, because repeat means that they came again, right? So we want to say all the numbers appear once. Great, Labronia. All right, so Kaylee is saying that the mode is 11. But is Kaylee correct? Is the mode 11? All right, thanks. So Tori says the mode is set is the mode of a set is which number appears most often. Great. All right, great guys. Awesome. Okay, so all the numbers appear once, and so 23 cannot be the correct answer, 11 cannot be the correct answer, and those numbers that you're listing, they cannot be the correct answer because they're there only once. All right, and mode has to do with the frequency at which a number appears. All right, so let's go to the next question. You're going to use this parallelogram to answer the question below. So the perimeter of the parallelogram is 28 units. What is the length of side E? And while you work on that, I'll read what Dacia Hales explained. She says that D, no mode, because usually in mode there's a number that is repeated either 2 or 3 times, but every number is there once. Therefore, I ended based on my understanding that there is no mode. Great, Dacia. You will be a great debate student. All right, so let's look at this one here. All right, so I'm seeing where persons are saying 6, but tell me, you guys definitely know I like an explanation, right? So give me some explanation, man. Thank you, Dacia Hales. I really agree with you here. But I don't want to say that they're annoying, but we want to say that they want to get their answers seen. But once is fine because I'm actually seeing your answers when you post them. All right. Thank you for that, Alicia Finlayson. All right. So Zadriana Garrick says because 6 plus 6 equals 12 and 8 plus 8 equals 16. That doesn't really tell me much though. So tell me, why do you say that the length of side E is 6 or 8 or 12 or 20? All right, so Michaela Hamilton says the answer is 6 because 8 plus 8 plus 6 plus 6 equals 28. So I want a little bit more detailed explanation. All right, so the equation for this is 28, take away 2 times 8 divided by 2. You will times 2 by 8 because opposite sides are equal, which is 8 times 2 equals 16. So 28 take away 16 is equal to 12. And 12 divided by 2 is equal to 6. Thank you, Taurus. That is a really good explanation here. So Taurus is saying that because it's a parallelogram, these opposite sides here are equal. They have the same length. This side has the same length. You see these 2 strokes here is telling you that the sides with these 2 strokes across, they are the same length. So these 2 sides are equal. So you know that if here so it's 8 centimeter, the parallel side to that would also be 8 units. All right. So with the other sides now, it tells us that the perimeter is practically 28 units. So you know that perimeter is to add up all the different lengths and give it and say the total length. So if in this case here, when we add up all the 4 sides, we got 28 units. It means that what if we have 8 here and 8 here, it means that whatever is left over must be shared equally for these 2 sides because they have the same length as well. So just as Tori Senior said, we would add 8 plus 8, we get 16, we need to subtract that from 28 and we are left with 12, and we must divide the 12 equally. So we divide that by 2 to get the length for side E and also for its opposite side. So the correct answer here would be 6 units. So great job, students. Great job. All right, so I'm seeing Kathiana Brown, 6 because 8 plus 8 equals 16, and 12 plus 16 equals 28, and half of 12 is 6, so each side is 6. Bethany says 6 units because opposite sides are parallel. Awesome. I wanted to hear those kind of a thing. I want to talk about it being a parallelogram and that opposite sides are equal. So she says 8 plus 8 is equal to 16. And so she said P is equal to 28. So the perimeter is equal to 28. So each side, so side E is 28, take away 16, which is 12, and that is divided by 2, which is 6. Great job. I'm seeing lots of great explanations here. Kayla Francis, awesome as well. So great job, great explanations. All right, so let us move on to, this is the third one after. All right, so let's move on to our final question, this one. So this will be our final question for the morning, and I'll come live again when I'm not sure when, whenever I'm able to, I'll come live again and we can go through some more. So remember that you need to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know exactly whenever I am online and I'm doing a live video. All right, so we're preparing for PEP. So you'll see me come on very often in this little PEP season here so that at least persons, who are not getting a lot of practice on their own, they are able to come here and do some practice as well. So remember to hashtag prep for PEP in the chat as well. And let's start this other question. All right, you're welcome, Kayla. All right, so here we have a family of 2 adults and 3 children went to a movie. The tickets cost $8 for adults and $5 for children. Which expression represents the total cost of the tickets? All right, so where you see these dots, they represent multiplication. I'm just going to go ahead and just write in that multiplication. All right, so let me show you how we hashtag. There you go. So ensure that prep for PEP, all the letters are joined up. All right, so and for A, we have 2 plus 3 plus 8 plus 5. B, we have 5 times 8 plus 3 times 2. C, we have 2 times 8 plus 3 times 5. And D, we have 3 times 8 plus 2 times 5. So you're going to select the best answer. All right, great. There we go. All right. So Zadriana Garrick says, for the adults, it would be 8 times 2, which is $16. And for the children, it is 3 times 5, which is $15. So, all right. So Zadriana, which is $16 for 8 times 2 and 3 times 5, $15. So remember now we're working with these expressions here. So your answer would have to be one of these expressions, but good calculation, you definitely know what you're doing. So, all right. I'm seeing Rihanna says 2 times 8 plus 3 times 5. And you guys know I love an explanation. So go ahead as well. Tell us your answer as well as do some explanation for us. All right, Althea, what you have here, 3 times 8, 2 times 5, that does not give us the answer because you have left out the plus sign. It makes a lot of difference, all right? Althea Barrett, so please to put in your plus sign. And I'm waiting for some explanation, guys, all right? All right, so Ajibiki, I can't pronounce your name, so please forgive me. Smith says, because 2 times 8 represents the adult and 3 times 5 represents the children. All right, but that does not give me much information, Aji Smith. I'll call you Aji Smith. That doesn't give me enough information there. I'm seeing Diamond Farquharson saying C because 2 times 8 equals 18 and 3 times 5 equals 15. All right, but I need to know where you said 2 times this and so on. So Kaylee De Souza say for the adults it would be 16 because 8 times 2 is 16. And for the children it would be 15 because 3 times 5 is 15. That is pretty close. So let us look at what Taurus says. 2 times 8 plus 3 times 5. That's her answer. And she says this is because one adult ticket is $8. There we go. That's the kind of explanation I want, students. All right. So because one adult ticket is $8 and one child ticket is $5, you will need to multiply the amount of money by the amount of people using that price. Awesome, Taurus. Awesome. All right. So I'm definitely seeing where we're getting some good explanations here. I see for they said the answer is C because since adults are $8, then multiply 8 times 2 because there are two adults. Great. And 3 by $5, which is $15, because okay, she didn't say that part. Okay. All right. So I'm expecting to see that because there are three children and their ticket costs $5 each. All right. So great job, guys. Great job. Some I'm definitely seeing some things here. You're doing a really good job. All right. So now we have come to the end. Okay. So I'm seeing Ashana FI also with an explanation. She says because there are two adults and tickets for adults cost $8, so 2 times 8. Then there are three children and tickets of for children cost $5. So 3 times 5. Awesome, Ashana FI. Great job as well. All right. I'm seeing Labronia Johnson with an awesome explanation too. All right. All right. So even Andreas Taylor, you say each adult represent 8 and per child is 3. Now remember we're talking about dollars here. So you're gonna put your $8, $3, and so on, and give us a little more juice on your explanation. All right, students. So great job. Great job. I'm definitely loving the explanations. So this is the end of our session for now. Whenever again I come on, you know, I will continue with the rest of questions that I have because I have a lot of questions. I just want us to just go through them as practice since we're almost close to exam time. All right, Lashina Harris. It might be something with your internet because I'm not seeing the others saying the same thing. All right, so it may be yours, but students, you can go ahead if you came late, or for your classmates who have missed this, you can go ahead and you can watch this when I have ended, which I'll be ending now. All right, students. All right, bye bye, guys.